The year 536 AD marked a period of profound darkness, both literally and metaphorically. It stands out in history as a year of unprecedented environmental and societal upheaval. This year plunged much of the world into a prolonged period of darkness and despair. Ancient sources from different cultures describe a mysterious fog that engulfed the sky, blotting out the sun and casting an eerie twilight over the land. This atmospheric anomaly, now believed to be a volcanic haze, had catastrophic consequences for life on Earth. Temperatures plummeted, ushering in the coldest decade in the past 2,300 years. The sun's life-giving rays were obscured, disrupting agriculture and causing widespread crop failures. What followed was a cascade of calamities that left an enduring mark on human history. The environmental disasters of 536 AD were of a scale rarely seen in human history. The volcanic haze, likely triggered by massive eruptions, had a profound impact on global climate patterns. Temperatures in the summer of 536 plunged by 1.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius, initiating the coldest decade of the past 2 millennia. China experienced snowfall in the summer, a phenomenon unheard of in its recorded history. Ireland's annals documented a devastating famine that lasted for several years, a grim testament to the agricultural devastation caused by the prolonged darkness and cold. The environmental consequences extended far beyond temperature drops and crop failures. The environmental disasters of 536 AD quickly spiraled into a global crisis affecting societies across continents. The ensuing famine, a direct result of crop failures and disrupted agricultural cycles, led to widespread starvation and malnutrition. Weakened by hunger, populations became more susceptible to diseases. The bubonic plague, which struck the Byzantine Empire in 541 AD, found fertile ground in a population ravaged by hunger and weakened immune systems. This pandemic, known as the Justinianic Plague, decimated the Byzantine population and hampered Emperor Justinian I's efforts to reunite the Roman Empire. The year 536 AD serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of environmental health in human societies. The most striking feature of the year 536 was the persistent darkness that enveloped the earth. This was not a mere dimming of the sun's light, it was a profound obscuration that transformed day into an eerie twilight. According to the Byzantine historian Procopius, the sun gave forth its light without brightness like the moon during this whole year. This strange phenomenon, visible across Europe, the Middle East and parts of Asia, lasted for 18 long months. People struggled to comprehend this unnatural gloom. Some interpreted it as a divine omen, a sign of impending doom. Others searched for natural explanations, but with the limited scientific understanding of the time, the true cause remained a mystery for centuries. What they were witnessing was an atmospheric event of unprecedented scale. Modern scientific analysis suggests that the most likely cause of this mysterious darkness was a massive volcanic eruption or a series of eruptions somewhere in the world. These eruptions ejected enormous quantities of ash and aerosols into the atmosphere, creating a dense veil that blocked sunlight and plunged the Earth into a prolonged period of darkness. Tree ring data from around the world shows evidence of unusually cold temperatures and reduced tree growth during this period, further supporting the volcanic eruption theory. The exact location and magnitude of the eruption, or eruptions, remain a subject of ongoing scientific debate. Some researchers point to evidence of a major eruption in El Salvador around 536, while others suggest a possible eruption in Iceland. Regardless of its origin, the impact of this volcanic event was global in its reach. The immediate consequence of the volcanic haze was a dramatic drop in global temperatures. The year 536 is often referred to as the volcanic winter, or the year without summer due to the prolonged cold and darkness that gripped the northern hemisphere. Summer temperatures in 536 plummeted by an estimated 1.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius, marking the beginning of the coldest decade in the past 2,300 years. The impact on agriculture was catastrophic. Crops failed to ripen in the shortened growing season, leading to widespread famine. Contemporary accounts describe summers so cold that snow fell in China, and frost ravaged crops as far south as Mesopotamia. The usual rhythm of the seasons was disrupted, and the world was plunged into an environmental crisis. The most immediate and devastating consequence of the environmental upheaval was widespread famine. With crops failing across vast swaths of the northern hemisphere, food became scarce and prices skyrocketed. Chroniclers of the time tell tales of mass starvation, social unrest, and desperate measures taken to survive. In China, historical records describe a famine so severe that people resorted to cannibalism. The Irish annals record a failure of bread from 536 to 539, suggesting a prolonged period of famine in the region. The societal fabric began to unravel as hunger gripped communities, setting the stage for further hardship and suffering in the years to come. The environmental crisis had quickly morphed into a humanitarian disaster. The environmental catastrophe of 536 AD quickly translated into a human tragedy of immense proportions. With agricultural production crippled by the prolonged darkness and cold, famine gripped vast regions of the northern hemisphere. The scarcity of food led to widespread starvation, particularly among the poorest and most vulnerable populations. Chronicles from various cultures paint a grim picture of the suffering endured during this period. In China, historical records describe people resorting to eating tree bark, roots, and even clay in a desperate attempt to stave off hunger. The Irish annals, chronicling events in Ireland, describe a failure of bread lasting from 536 to 539, indicating a prolonged period of devastating famine. The Byzantine historian Procopius wrote of people wandering the countryside in search of food, reduced to begging and scavenging to survive. As if famine were not enough, the year 536 and its aftermath brought another scourge upon humanity: disease. Weakened by hunger and malnutrition, populations became highly susceptible to outbreaks of infectious diseases. The most devastating of these was the bubonic plague, which struck the Byzantine Empire in 541 AD and became known as the Justinianic plague. This pandemic, considered one of the deadliest in human history, swept through Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Asia, decimating populations and leaving a lasting impact on the course of history. While the exact link between the volcanic eruption and the plague outbreak remains a subject of debate among historians and scientists, it is clear that the environmental upheaval of 536 created conditions ripe for the spread of disease. The weakened immune systems of malnourished populations combined with potential disruptions in rodent populations that may have carried plague-infected fleas contributed to the rapid spread and devastating impact of the pandemic. The combined effects of famine, disease, and prolonged darkness had a profound impact on the social and economic fabric of societies around the world. With agricultural production severely disrupted, trade networks were disrupted, and economies faltered. Governments struggled to cope with the scale of the crisis, and social unrest became increasingly common as people faced hardship and uncertainty. In China, the Sui dynasty, which had unified the country after centuries of division, faced significant challenges due to the environmental and social upheavals of this period. The dynasty's ambitious infrastructure projects, such as the construction of the Grand Canal, were likely disrupted by labor shortages and economic instability. In Europe, the weakened Byzantine Empire, already facing pressure from external enemies, was further destabilized by the Justinianic plague, hindering Emperor Justinian VI's efforts to restore the Roman Empire to its former glory. The year 536 and its immediate aftermath marked a period of profound disruption and upheaval across much of the world. The environmental catastrophe triggered a cascade of consequences including famine, disease, economic decline, and social unrest. The world seemed to be teetering on the brink of chaos as darkness lingered and the usual rhythms of life were disrupted. Yet even in the face of such adversity, human resilience and adaptability shone through. While some societies crumbled under the weight of these challenges, others found ways to adapt and eventually recover. The events of 536 AD serve as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of human societies and the natural world, and the profound impact that environmental changes can have on the course of history. For centuries, the cause of the strange darkness and subsequent hardships of 536 AD remained shrouded in mystery and speculation. Ancient chroniclers, lacking the tools of modern science, could only describe the phenomena they witnessed and offer interpretations often tinged with religious or superstitious beliefs. Some attributed the darkness to divine wrath, while others saw it as a portent of apocalyptic events. It was not until the advent of modern scientific inquiry that researchers began to piece together the puzzle, uncovering evidence that pointed towards a dramatic and powerful culprit: volcanic eruptions. The study of ice cores, extracted from ancient glaciers and ice sheets, has provided invaluable insights into past climate and atmospheric conditions. These cores, like frozen time capsules, preserve layers of volcanic ash and sulfuric acid aerosols deposited from past eruptions. By analyzing the chemical composition and dating of these layers, scientists have been able to identify periods of significant volcanic activity, correlating them with historical records and climate proxies. The ice core data revealed a striking anomaly in the mid-6th century, coinciding with the onset of the strange darkness and climate downturn reported in 536 AD. The presence of volcanic sulfate aerosols in ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica dating back to this period provided strong evidence that a major volcanic eruption, or a series of eruptions, had occurred somewhere in the world, injecting massive amounts of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. While the exact location and magnitude of the eruptions remain a subject of ongoing scientific debate, several candidate volcanoes have emerged as potential culprits. One strong contender is the Ilopango caldera in El Salvador, which is believed to have produced a massive eruption in the 6th century. Another possibility is an eruption in Iceland, supported by evidence of volcanic ash deposits in ice cores and peat bogs. Other researchers have proposed that a cluster of smaller eruptions, rather than a single catastrophic event, could have been responsible for the atmospheric disturbances. Regardless of the precise source, the impact of the volcanic eruptions on global climate was profound and far-reaching. The massive injection of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere led to the formation of a dense veil of sulfate aerosols, effectively blocking sunlight and causing a global dimming effect. These aerosols, reflecting sunlight back into space, caused a significant drop in global temperatures, plunging the northern hemisphere into a prolonged period of cold and darkness. The cooling effect of the volcanic haze had a cascading impact on weather patterns and atmospheric circulation. The disrupted temperature gradients likely weakened the Asian monsoon, leading to droughts in some regions and floods in others. The altered atmospheric circulation may have also influenced the frequency and severity of storms, further disrupting agricultural production and exacerbating the unfolding crisis. The environmental consequences of the 536 AD eruptions were felt across vast distances, impacting societies and ecosystems around the world. The prolonged darkness and cold, combined with disrupted precipitation patterns, led to widespread crop failures and famine across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The weakened agricultural production, coupled with the social and economic disruptions caused by the climate crisis, created fertile ground for disease outbreaks, including the devastating Justinianic plague that swept through the Byzantine Empire and beyond. The year 536 AD serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems and the profound impact that natural disasters can have on human societies. It highlights the vulnerability of civilizations, even those at the height of their power, to the forces of nature. Furthermore, it underscores the importance of scientific inquiry in understanding past climate change events and their implications for our present and future. The year 536 AD cast a long shadow over human history, its effects reverberating for decades and even centuries after the initial darkness had lifted. The environmental and societal upheavals of this period left an indelible mark on the collective memory of many cultures, passed down through generations in the form of myths, legends, and historical accounts. The trauma of this era, characterized by famine, disease, and social unrest, served as a stark reminder of the fragility of human civilization in the face of nature's power. The immediate aftermath of 536 AD was a time of profound hardship and adaptation. With traditional agricultural cycles disrupted, communities were forced to find new ways to sustain themselves. Some turned to foraging and hunting, relying on wild plants and animals to supplement their dwindling food supplies. Others migrated in search of more hospitable lands, leading to shifts in population centers and cultural exchange. Despite the immense challenges they faced, human societies demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability in the wake of the 536 AD crisis. From the ruins of collapsed empires and shattered economies, emerged new opportunities for innovation and growth. In China, the Sui dynasty, which had weathered the storms of the late 6th century, embarked on a period of ambitious infrastructure projects, including the construction of the Grand Canal, which connected the north and south of the country and facilitated trade and communication. In Europe, the Byzantine Empire, though weakened by the Justinianic plague and other challenges, eventually recovered and experienced a period of cultural and economic flourishing under Emperor Justinian I's successors. The Frankish kingdom, which had been gradually expanding its influence in Western Europe, consolidated its power and laid the foundation for the Carolingian Empire, which would dominate much of Western Europe in the centuries to come. The long-term effects of the 536 AD crisis were not uniformly negative. In some regions, the disruptions of this period led to the emergence of new political orders, technological advancements, and social transformations. The collapse of existing power structures created opportunities for new leaders and ideologies to emerge. The need to adapt to changing environmental conditions spurred innovation in agriculture, water management, and other fields. In Britain, the Anglo-Saxon migration and settlement, which had begun in the 5th century, continued during this period, laying the foundation for the development of Anglo-Saxon England. The decline of Roman influence in Western Europe created a vacuum that was filled by Germanic kingdoms, leading to the emergence of new cultural and political landscapes. The Islamic conquests of the 7th and 8th centuries, while not directly caused by the events of 536 AD, were nonetheless shaped by the broader context of a world in flux. The year 536 AD stands as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems and the potential for natural disasters to disrupt human societies on a global scale. While the precise causes and consequences of this particular event continue to be debated and investigated by scientists and historians, its legacy serves as a cautionary tale for our own time. As we grapple with the challenges of climate change, environmental degradation, and the potential for future pandemics, understanding the lessons of the past becomes ever more crucial. The year 536 AD, with its dramatic illustration of the interconnectedness of human societies and the natural world, underscores the importance of scientific inquiry, international cooperation, and responsible stewardship of our planet. By studying the echoes of the past, we can better prepare for the challenges of the future and strive to create a more resilient and sustainable world. The year 536 AD may seem like a distant and obscure chapter in human history, a time of darkness and upheaval separated from our own by a vast gulf of time. Yet, as we delve deeper into the events of that fateful year and its aftermath, we discover that it holds up a mirror to our own time, reflecting both our vulnerabilities and our capacity for resilience. The environmental catastrophe that unfolded in the mid-6th century, while triggered by natural forces beyond human control, serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between human societies and the natural world. The prolonged darkness, the plummeting temperatures, the widespread famine, and the outbreak of pandemic disease, these were not mere historical footnotes but rather echoes of challenges that continue to confront humanity today. Climate change, environmental degradation, and the threat of emerging infectious diseases loom large in our collective consciousness, demanding our attention and action. The year 536 AD offers us not only a glimpse into a world on the brink, but also valuable lessons in resilience, adaptation, and the interconnectedness of human societies. Despite the immense challenges they faced, the people of the 6th century found ways to survive, adapt, and eventually rebuild their lives. They learned to rely on their ingenuity, their communities, and their capacity for innovation to navigate a world transformed by forces beyond their control. The emergence of new political orders, the development of new agricultural practices, the flourishing of art and culture in the aftermath of the crisis, these all stand as testaments to the enduring human spirit, our ability to find hope and progress even in the darkest of times. These lessons hold particular relevance for us today as we confront the complex and interconnected challenges of the 21st century. The year 536 AD, once shrouded in mystery and speculation, has emerged from the mists of time as a pivotal moment in human history. Thanks to the meticulous work of scientists, historians, and archaeologists, we now have a deeper understanding of the events that unfolded during that fateful year and its lasting impact on the course of civilization. The story of 536 AD is not merely a tale of disaster and despair, but also a testament to the power of human curiosity, the importance of scientific inquiry, and the enduring relevance of history in illuminating our present and guiding our future. By studying the past, we gain a deeper appreciation for the challenges and triumphs of those who came before us, and we gain valuable insights into the forces that have shaped our world. The year 536 AD serves as a stark reminder that we are not immune to the forces of nature, nor are we exempt from the consequences of our actions. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, facing challenges that are both global and interconnected, the lessons of the past take on new urgency. The year 536 AD, with its stark illustration of vulnerability and resilience, calls upon us to embrace scientific inquiry, to prioritize international cooperation, and to act with a sense of shared responsibility for the well-being of our planet and all its inhabitants. The darkness that descended upon the world in the 6th century ultimately gave way to a new dawn. It is now our turn to learn from the past, to rise to the challenges of our time, and to create a brighter future for generations to come.